Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Gun Cranks. I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Weed, along with American Handgunner editor Tom McHale and Roy Huntington, International Man of Mystery. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
I gotta say, before we get into today's topic, I want to say that Roy, I don't think you knew this or we talked about it. Somebody's got a famous fan now who reached out to his magazine and they had a little conversation, and he's been insufferable in our meetings of late.
Apparently the Nuge is an American Handgunner fan, so why he didn't chase down guns, I don't know, but
I know.
Well,
he used to capture me at NRA shows, and then he used to pitch me articles and stuff. So yeah, he does like us.
Ted, if you're watching, first of all, Guns Magazine, we would love to see your byline in there. And if you remember SHOT Show about 15 years ago, you borrowed $20 off of me. I mean, come on, Ted, help a brother out. I got ammo to buy. So
I'm glad he's on our side.
Exactly. I think Ted's got a sense of humor. I hope.
Yeah.
So otherwise, there may be a beating at next SHOT Show. So anyway, Ted, hope you're watching. Hope you like the show. Rock on, Motor City Madman. Anyway, we have a great topic today that Roy just reviewed the Squirrel Howitzer. What the heck is that?
Well, I had a pair of those Rock Island, their new stainless steel guns are bringing in from the Czech Republic. One of them is a 4-inch adjustable sight 22 Magnum. And it's pretty heavy. It's all stainless steel, weighs 38 ounces or something. And when I first got it, I was thinking, well, okay, it's like a really heavy gun and it's 22 Magnum and all that kind of stuff. And then as I got to know it and got to shoot it more and started going through different 22 Magnum loads, I just really realized what a extremely useful tool it is. And I had not really played with a 22 Magnum double-action revolver in years. But after shooting it, and I just realized this is this like untapped gold mine of resources and opportunities. And because I was shooting 22 Magnum ammunition through it that chronographed from a low of about 950, it was just a modest sort of generic load, up to, it was a little bit more than 1,500 feet per second for a 35 grain load that was loaded with an actual Sierra semi-jacketed hollow point load. After that, and realizing the power that they have available, and this holds 8 shots, and I thought, gosh, I'm gonna have to really refocus my thinking here. Self-defense, trail pistol, it's extremely accurate, precision shooter, targeting, training new shooters. I mean, the list is long. And while arguably it's cheaper to shoot than maybe a centerfire, I mean, I also know it's not a 22 long rifle as far as how inexpensive it is. And I'd like to go on record and say my single most used gun around my property here is a CZ semi-auto 22 Magnum rifle with a good quality scope on it. And I'll tell you, they're killing machines, and I think they're underrated, and people poo-poo them until we'd have something like this. And then usually the flood of comments comes out and everyone says, oh yeah, I use a 22 Magnum all the time. I love it. Everybody tells their stories.
Yep. Well, talking about even for self-defense, if you can see that, Speer makes gold dot self-defense rounds that some of us carry and say hello to my little friend. Now, that is a North American Arms 5-shot 22 Magnum single action. Obviously, that's not what I take if I think I'm getting into a gunfight. But you know what? You can hide that just about any place. And I know some people may say that's not really a gun. But let me tell you what, Mr. Gun Writer, you want to stand 15 feet or 15 yards downwind and take that in the eyeball? That'll leave a mark. So, yeah, I consider this an absolute last-ditch, arm's length emergency kind of thing. But it's very comforting to have on my person, and it gives me another option in case everything has gone bad to that point. So, what do you guys think? Do you think is that a real gun or not?
Yeah, it's a real gun. I've gel tested that Speer Gold Dot, and it's impressive what it does. This is also kind of an interesting option here, the Hornady Critical Defense and 22 Magnum. I mean, I'm getting just out of those little North American Arms revolvers. It's doing about 920 to 950 feet per second, depending on which one.
Yeah.
And when I shoot it out of a Ruger single 6 with a longer barrel, like 1360 or so, I mean that thing's moving.
Yeah. And we've done shows on 22 long rifle for defense, which it's better than small rock, I suppose. But this is actually getting into, it like I said, it'll leave a mark. It's not something to poo-poo just because it's very similar to a 22 long rifle.
In some statistics I read, pretty comprehensive about actual real-world shootings, the 22 Magnum was actually up in the 380, 9mm categories, rather than down in the 22 long rifle 25 ACP. And so it does seem to have that extra step, And I'll tell you, we've shot critters here, coyotes, prairie dogs, groundhogs, raccoons, those kind of varminty kind of things that you have to keep under control or they take over. And it seems to work as well as it does as if I use a 222 Remington or something. I mean, if you hit them well, they go right down. If you take the same shot with even a hot 22 long rifle, it tends to not work nearly as well. So there is some kind of magic with that 22 Magnum round. It really is effective.
How's it work on tarantulas?
I have not shot a tarantula here with the 22 Magnum.
Well, you need to.
I think the
Anytime
concussion does them in.
Well, I will say I stomped on one time in my boot just because they're really aggressive here. And it's like, if you're in the woods and you're a tarantula, that's fine. But when you're in the garden here and the dogs are running around and they actually will run and like jump on your ankle, it's really funny. So I stomped on one time with my boots, and it's a terrible mess. Don't do that, America.
That's like squashing a golf ball sized grape.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That's why one of those little North American arms, I have one that's just a little 22 long rifle one. And I usually keep it in my vest pocket, and it's loaded with shot cartridges just for minor emergencies like that,
We're going to be out at your place, and since you do have tarantulas, I think some shot cartridges are in my future.
Oh, yeah.
I will
Me
supply
no
you
like
with
big
them.
spiders.
But I think just overall, and more than just based on my experience with this Rock Island 22 Magnum revolver, is I think if you're someone who's, maybe you're new to shooting, maybe you're looking, to arm someone who isn't a real accomplished handgunner, who may not be committed to practice a lot, and you've been trying to decide, should I get a 22 long rifle? Should I get a something like that? I think the decision is going to be easy to make. Just go ahead and find some double action 22 Magnum revolver from any manufacturer, and then you're pretty much good to go now. I mean, when I shot 8 shots fast at a defensive silhouette with this revolver, which is in the video if you want to watch it, when I saw the target, I just thought, good Lord, 8 shots, as of what Tom said a minute ago, you get some, 35 grain bullet, Tom, or so, 35, 40 grain bullet penetrating.
This is a 45, the critical defense. I don't remember, Brent, you got a box of those spears, right?
Yeah, but I don't have
Yeah.
my glasses on.
Yeah.
Just
I
wait,
mean,
pick it up in your hand and let us know.
Yeah, it's about that.
about that. Well, there's not a bad guy in the world, though, who's gonna stand there and say, "Oh, that's only a 22 Magnum. I don't really care."
Yeah, it's kind of like, again, the gun writer thing of, well, that's an inadequate round. I can see the argument, but again, stand down there, and unless a guy is extremely motivated, he's going to go, ow, that hurts really bad. I think I'm going to go do something else because you have fangs. I don't want to go after somebody with fangs. I want to go after sheep.
He's going to stop. You remember, you just have to stop what's going on. That's all they have to do. So I think it deserves a really hard look. If you get yourself a really accurate, good quality 22 Magnum rifle, I mean, actually get one of the Savage bolt guns. They will shoot an inch at 100 yards, especially on a non-windy day. And I have an Anschutz 22 Magnum that with the right ammunition will shoot close to a ½ inch at 100 yards. And it's like, I don't know why that isn't fun. And so you need to take a hard look at a rifle in that caliber, or a handgun. Yes, the ammunition is more expensive than it was 2 or 3 years ago, but it's still much cheaper, than going the other route. So that's what I say. So the
Speaking of
22
fun,
Magnum,
they're loud. They're plenty loud, which is kind of fun.
it's true.
So I think we can agree, guys, 22 Magnum. It's not just kid stuff.
I agree.
Case closed.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of our latest gun cranks here. Make sure you check out all of our various properties because we need to stay employed. And I've often said I still want a jet. And the boss keeps dangling it out there for me. And I don't have well-to-do friends like Tom McHale. So, folks, we need you to subscribe to us and leave comments down there. Tell us your favorite 22 Magnum gun story or thoughts on it. And as I said, check out gunsmagazine.com, americanhandgunner.com, americancop.com. And we've got a real cool special edition coming out very soon, or it may already be out. I'm not sure of the dates. Tom, tell the wonderful audience about that.
Old West special edition. It's not out yet. It's going to be about 6 weeks. So stay tuned. Keep an eye out on your bookstore shelves and grocery store shelves, except Kroger. They're a bunch of commies.
And Walgreens.
Yeah, and Walgreens. So go to other stores. So.
And okay, now you got me ranting. Walgreens used to be owned by a very gun-friendly family, and now they're not the owners, and the CEO is probably 180 degrees the opposite direction. So choose to spend your money where you choose to, but Walgreens is no longer a gun-friendly establishment. So Barnes & Noble, for example, they still carry all of our stuff. So anyway, sorry, got off on that tear. But and even if you have a local establishment, say a Kroger or a Walgreens, go in and say, I still like this magazine and it's not hurting anybody. I've not seen a single gun magazine go into any place and harm anybody. On behalf of International Man of Mystery Roy Huntington, American Handgunner editor Tom McHale, I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat, signing off for yet another episode of The Gun Cranks.